One Mid-South man claims he knows a legal way to steal your house just by changing the deed on your property and putting it in his name. He says our laws just don't apply to him.
That's because he says he knows the secret to becoming sovereign. Sounds bizarre, but it's true. Kelly Raybon has this On Your Side investigation.
Imagine being able to stake claim to any property you'd like. At least one Mid-South man says he can do just that, but the owners of the properties disagree.
$16,673.
It seemed like a small price to pay for a North Memphis home, so Jonah Asher took the deal.
We made an offer to purchase it, and our offer got accepted.
But when Asher showed up at the house, he noticed something wasn't right.
When I got there, I noticed that there were quitclaim deeds taped in all the windows with a man's name, Michael Ray Cobb.
Asher says this man, Michael Ray Cobbs, filed a deed claiming he owns the place without ever paying a dime. Cobbs changed the locks, filled the windows with paper, and posted signs saying he'll shoot to kill.
This man obviously seems to think he can take or do or anything he wants, and he's untouchable.
This document is the reason Michael Ray Cobbs says he can do what he did. In it, he declares himself sovereign, free from all man-made laws. Cobbs believes being sovereign gives him the right to take any property he wants.
Did you have to pay for this house?
On the phone, Cobbs says he's done nothing illegal. He refused an on-camera interview because he says he doesn't want to be exposed.
In my view, those arguments are all irrelevant.
County Commissioner and University of Memphis law professor Steve Mulroy says courts have ruled against this sort of claim.
If you're here in the United States, you're subject to U.S. law. If you're here in Tennessee, you're subject to Tennessee law.
Mulroy says the laws apply to everyone, and just because you file something doesn't make it true.
He cannot merely assert that he has got an ownership interest in these things without proving under state law that he has bought them somehow.
You could file the document here.
According to Shelby County Register of Deeds Tom Leatherwood, when a person files a deed in his office, that doesn't mean they bought anything.
By law, we cannot look below the surface of that document.
Leatherwood says anyone can file anything they want, as long as it's signed and notarized. As far as the registrar's office is concerned, Cobb's paperwork is in order for the house in North Memphis and other properties he's filed paperwork on too, like this $500,000 home in Collierville, this $300,000 home in Southeast Shelby County, this $75,000 home in Frazier, this $70,000 home in Memphis, and this $4.6 million motel on Mount Moriah.
People don't want my clerk at the front counter determining the validity of their mortgage or whether or not it's a good deal for them to buy that property or sell that property.
Ours was recorded on the 9th.
That doesn't help Jonah Asher. He's waiting on his day in court, hoping to reclaim the house he paid for.
The old saying, the wheels of justice are slow. We're waiting on those right now.
We talked to the owners of the other properties in question. Most of them had no idea these deeds had been filed. It's likely they'll have to take the case to court to clear the title. Meanwhile, the Shelby County Attorney's Office is investigating the issue to determine if there's been any wrongdoing. For the On Your Side investigators, Kelly Raybon, WREG News Channel 3.
This ain't the only homes I'm going to take. I'm about to take over everything I can.
New at 10 tonight, one house with two deeds. A homeowner says his property was stolen from him before he ever moved in. But the man who holds a deed to the house says he's the rightful owner, and he plans to take more homes just like it. Could your house be next? On Your Side investigator Kelly Raybon is here with the deed dispute.
Tonight, Michael Ray Cobbs is speaking out as he watches one of his properties slip through his hands.
This isn't the way Jonah Asher wanted to get back in his home, taking back what's his, and this time Asher's not alone.
Police department!
It took a court order to get Asher back in the house.
Here's what we were up against. Violators will be shot.
Asher bought the property a few weeks ago. When he arrived, he noticed no trespassing signs in the yard. The locks were changed and deeds posted in the windows saying Michael Cobbs owned the property.
Oh, it's my house because I can claim an abandoned home.
Cobbs didn't pay for the house because he says he doesn't have to.
These is abandoned homes, every foreclosure. If people knew what we knew right now, it'd be the end of American society, because these banks and these other realtor companies, they're very evil. They're selling the same houses 20 and 30 times.
Cobbs says man-made laws don't apply to him because he's sovereign.
This guy thinks he's a sovereign king and he can take what he wants when he wants, and nobody can do anything about it.
This guy out on TV talking about, I think I'm a sovereign king. I am a sovereign king. And he gonna find out. Yahweh will put him out his home in Mississippi.
He says he follows the teachings of Yahweh ben Yahweh, the leader of a black supremacist movement.
We studied real deep. We learned all this from Yahweh ben Yahweh. Praise Yahweh.
Cobbs says he filed deeds on 6 properties across Shelby County, from a $500,000 home in Collierville to a $4.6 million motel on Mount Moriah. Cobbs says he's not done yet.
This ain't the only homes I'm gonna take. I'm about to take over everything I can, because before the banks take it over, they're evil.
Asher's doing what he can to keep Cobbs out of this house, changing the locks and boarding up the windows, trying to protect what he's paid for.
You praying to the judge like he God now?
Cobbs says nothing, not even a court order, will keep him away.
As soon as the police and cops leave, but we be bound to come and kick the place back in and take control of it again.
Both sides will have their day in court next week. We'll be there too. Meanwhile, we're told the county attorney's office and the district attorney's office have launched a criminal investigation into Michael Cobbs. For the On Your Side investigators, Kelly Raybon, WREG News Channel 3.
I am a sovereign king.
Michael Cobb's tactics are gaining attention. Homeowners storming their own houses to get them back from Cobbs after the self-proclaimed sovereign king files paperwork and claims ownership. Now Cobbs is facing criminal charges and civil action from those who claim to be victims in this deed dispute. On Your Side investigator Kelly Raybon broke this story, and she's here with new developments.
Michael Cobbs has taken over 5 more properties in the last week, and now his kingdom may be crumbling.
Hey, I am a sovereign king.
Here's what we were up against. Violators will be shot.
Fighting for their property, the Ashers end up in court,
conveyed the property to himself,
hoping to clear up a property dispute created by this guy, Michael Cobbs.
I know that Mr. Cobbs has filed several other quitclaim deeds on other properties, and there may be other law enforcement agencies that are probably looking for him.
Cobbs took over this property owned by the Ashers without paying a dime. He changed the locks and posted signs saying he would shoot to kill.
I would like to see him locked up. I think that's where he belongs. Wished he'd have been locked up today, so he had to be here.
Kenneth Asher got his wish just hours later when deputies arrested Cobbs at the Shelby County Register of Deeds as he was trying to take another house.
He was attempting to file 2 documents, another quitclaim deed, and then also a name change document that had been filed and processed through the probate court.
Cobbs wasn't arrested for any of the properties we've told you about. He's accused of taking this house just last week.
He has made certain filings in the registrar's office and taken other actions that constitute an attempt to steal that house.
In court, Cobbs had an interesting exchange with Judge Karen Massey, trying to invoke his rights under Uniform Commercial Code. But the judge said not in her courtroom.
He made a reservation of rights under the UCC, and her response was that that did not apply in criminal court.
The DA's investigation continues because Cobbs has deeded himself nearly a dozen properties in the last month.
This ain't the only homes I'm gonna take. I'm about to take over everything I can.
Cobbs says he can do this because he's a sovereign king and follows the teachings of Yahweh ben Yahweh.
There's no such thing as Jesus Christ, Jehovah, or none of that. Those are all Christian translations.
Cobbs can't take any more properties while he's in jail. Prosecutors wanted to keep him behind bars by raising his bond, but the judge denied the request.
His bond is $2,000, and he is eligible to make that bond and get out of jail.
And Cobbs did. He bonded out of jail overnight and will be back in court in April. Meanwhile, the DA's investigation continues, and sources say there could be more charges coming. You can go to WREG.com, where you'll find an interactive map of all the properties Cobbs has taken, the documents he's filed, and click on comments, where you can join the conversation. For the On Your Side investigators, Kelly Raybon, WREG News Channel 3.